Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Ellouise and Joseph Field. Welcome to Love in Real Life, where we talk all things relationships. Now, we don't have any real claim as experts, but combined we have 85 plus years of marital experience, and that has taught us how to lead conversations, such as, do you have agreement before alignment? Did you know that potentials have expiration dates? Our goal is to help prepare you for relationship resets as we all continue the work of becoming the best version of ourselves. So you're in the right place at the right time. Let's get this week's segment of Love in Real Life started. Lovers out there in Radio Land, we're so glad to hear you and see you. Hopefully you're joining us by Facebook and checking in on our YouTube page. We're going to be talking today about All Creation is Waiting.
Good afternoon, KBOB family. We are so happy to be here, and we hope that you will help us spread the word. Like and share, like and share, like and share. Subscribe, yes. YouTube, Facebook, whatever.
Well, in case you're wondering what today is about, All Creation is Waiting, what are they waiting on and who's doing the waiting?
We both ended up with the same script. You got Romans 8:19. This is not scripted, in case you're wondering. We're just winging it through this. Both of us did Romans 8:19. You want what version you got?
I don't have the version.
Okay. Well, mine was in the New International Version. For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. What did yours say?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have Amplified Classic.
Okay.
For all creation waits expectantly and longs earnestly for the manifestation or the revealing or disclosing of their sonship.
So keep in mind when we come to passages like this, because I read and read and read and read and studied and read, and you got to keep in mind that this was written over 2,000 years ago, and for 2,000 years theologians have been debating what Paul was talking about and what he was referencing to, and it's been twisted in all kinds of ways. But keep in mind now when we come to these things like this, that Paul was a highly educated man. He was educated in all the Hellenistic philosophy stuff, and he was himself an educated philosopher. He knew Aristotle, he knew Plato, he knew all of these things. Paul had fun debating with the other philosophers. It's recorded in Acts 17, where in the marketplace he's down there debating with them and stumping them and things, because that's Paul's personality, and that personality comes out. And then later on at the marketplace or at the council at Mars Hill. So the thing that I focused on was one of the words in it for the creation waits in eager expectation. That is a single word in the Greek. And keep in mind, and I don't need to try to give you a Greek lesson here today, but it's ancient language. They don't have all them participles and adverbs and adverbs and adjectives and particles and all this. That we spend 12 years learning the English language here in the U.S. It's very difficult, but it's very interesting because the word is only used there and in Philippians 1:20. Where Paul again said, I eagerly expect and hope that I will in no way be ashamed, but will have sufficient courage, so that now as always Christ will be exalted in my body. And what the word means in Greek is a literal straining forward of your head to see over the rail at the runners coming. It's an eager expectation that so you can catch sight of the runners. You're leaning over there. That's what the word literally means.
Yeah, you're watching like runners in a race, and you're leaning forward and looking in the direction they're coming, so you can cheer them on. You have expectation that they're coming. You want to see who's going to win.
Right. So despite all of the debate that goes, and there's volumes and volumes and volumes written on this, I always kind of come back to the more practical kind of side of life. And among all of the many explanations of the meaning, the most representative and important for those of us who are just average people out here, everyday people, is it refers to the deep longings of mankind for a better future. This world is not my home. We've sang it, the old hymn, I'm just a passing through. When we come to that point in our life to say, is this all there is? Is this it? No, this is not it. This is just the beginning. We are given a great tool for hope in our lives and in our relationships, and this is not the end. There is more to life than the current trials and temptations. There's more. We have strength to look beyond the valley that we may or may not be in, or the mountaintop if we're on that mountaintop.
Well, and it's being able to understand that the expectation is, do they know something we don't know? Right? Because if I'm expecting something to take place, say I was giving you a surprise party, I'm waiting for that moment when you're going to walk in the room and everybody holler, surprise! So I have an expectation, but I also have a knowledge about something that you don't have. So the creation, the angels, the plants, the animals, they understand who they have been made to be. You don't see a lion trying to be a person. You don't see an angel trying to be a lion. They were created to be who they are with a certain knowledge base, and they're comfortable being who God made them to be. We're the ones who still seemingly, after thousands of years, are working hard trying to figure it out. But they're waiting on us to get in our rightful positions as sons. And, I don't want to jump ahead, but I guess I am.
Just jump right ahead.
Thank you, honey.
You're more than welcome.
But they're expecting us to get in our lane, align our feet with the path of destiny that was predetermined for us, and be able to walk in that to the fullness so we can stop the decay in the earth. And I know that sounds like a huge responsibility, but God gave us the power. And he gave us the power so we could utilize his power that he shared with us to put things in order. But we can't put things in order if we're out of order. If we're out of alignment, we're off, we're confused, we're deceived, we're all the stuff. We can't do it. But they're waiting on us to get to that place where we can stop the decay in the earth.
So outside even of the Christian realm, hope is a thinking process rather than just an emotion, and it has two key components. The first one is the you as an individual, your belief that I can begin actions which will lead to me achieving my goals. It's a belief that I can summon in me the capacity to sustain those actions in order to achieve that goal. That's one side of it. It's where we feel empowered to pursue our objectives. I want this out there. I'm going to work. When that brings up the second capacity that we have to think about, and that is the ability to generate multiple strategies to reach those goals. One thing that I thought of when I was working on this was get yourself a journal. And it doesn't have to be, it can be, what's it cost to get those spiral ring notebooks at Walmart? They're $1, $2 or something. It don't have to be anything other than that. Write these things down and think through these things. The ability to generate multiple strategies to reach those goals, whatever they might be. And this emphasizes the importance of planning and adaptability in overcoming the obstacles.
Or if you're more digital minded,
Okay.
you can I text things to myself all the time. I date them when I want to receive, like I'm I plan ahead a lot. So I have things that'll come to me for around Thanksgiving and recipes I want to try. I have places I want to go next year. I'll have places I want to go for our Dubai for our 5th anniversary. So I text things to myself. So you might not
Bobby
writer.
keeps feeding that.
Oh yeah! Every time he says it, oh, I have a moment. Oh my gosh, I can hardly wait. But you may be more digital, so you can text yourself, you can email yourself, you have notes apps on your phone. It's so many ways that you can, and we have voice activation that can record our voice. Yeah, you got to go in and edit until it really learns how you speak as an individual. But we have so much at our access and our disposal today that we cannot make excuses for not recording things and not being able to remind ourselves. That's what it's about, is being able to remember those goals and plans and study them out and really look at them from a pure, honest point of view and say, is this something I can really accomplish?
My phone is too old. It won't let me talk into it.
We're going to upgrade that phone. We are going to upgrade that phone.
My phone. But for those of you who are like me and you're technically struggling, I still take a pencil, and you can see from my notes, if you could see my notes and see inside this book where I sit on the couch in the living room and study and think and pray and write these things out. But get yourself something so that you can keep track of these things.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
And when something speaks to you, write it down. The whole idea of the scriptures coming, being where it talks about the in Hebrews, was it Hebrews 4:12, I think, where it talks about the word of God is living. It's not dead. It speaks to us as we sit and read through things. God's Spirit, if we're listening, it may be a scripture that we're very familiar with, that we've read through over and over and over, and we read through it, and then something just jumps out and comes alive to us. That's the way God's Spirit works in our lives. And so get yourself a journal or something. Write things down.
Yeah.
And then, because I enjoy being able to go back and something speaks to me like that, I grab my pencil and I've got another journal. I got 2 that I keep besides this one. But to be able to, I start writing that down, and when something like that speaks to me.
Yeah, it's good to record those things and be able to go back, because whenever I go back through old notebooks and things where I've kept notes and things, to remember. Even when we went on that women's retreat at the end of March, one of the exercises was they had us write a letter to ourselves. And then we sealed it up and turned it into them, and then they mailed it to us in 90 days. And when I got the letter, at first I thought, who is sending me this? But then when I read it and everything, it was just a reminder of those things that had happened during that women's retreat. Those things are powerful because I was speaking to myself about myself at that point in time, but I also was speaking into a future version of myself. So when I got the letter 90 days later, to just be able to look at it and see what things had transpired in 90 days was really powerful.
I regret that I started doing that when I was in high school, and I still remember the yellow folder I had it all in, and somewhere in all the process of moving and going from the house to house and whatever, I lost it, and I really regretted that. But anyway, there's hope, and that's the thing that I saw emphasized in this. And even outside of a Christian aspect, hopeful individuals tend to achieve more and maintain better physical and psychological health compared with those who have lower levels of hope. Hope is the thing that drives us and keeps us going. Even outside of Christian, hope theory is a significant concept in positive psychology, illustrating how a hopeful mindset can lead to resilience and to goal attainment.
Well, because hope is one of those things, it can work no matter what your stance is on if you have a relationship with God or not. It's just being able to have an outlook and be positive about life and living. Yes, it is a godly principle. It's like the sun. He said it. It's going to happen. It's going to always rise in the east and set in the west. That's going to be forever. No, you don't have to be a Christian to know that that's going to happen or believe that that's going to happen. It's just going to happen because God set it in place. But it's important that we keep our hope at the front, and you and I both having the kingdom language of hope, to understand our relationship with all of creation. All of creation is waiting on us people to come together, get our act together, and get this thing moving. You know, it's not just about at the end of time when Jesus comes back and you can like rapture or don't like rapture. I'm not getting into that debate. But when everything is in order. But our whole point was we were supposed to be bringing heaven to the earth in what we do and how we move and what we establish and being able to connect with other people. And all of creation is waiting on us to get our stuff together so that we can stop some of this stuff. We got issues and problems and evil prevailing in our world today. It's on us, y'all. And I know y'all don't want to hear it. I didn't write the Bible. I do write things, but I didn't write the Bible. So if you have an issue, you're going to have to go way much higher than dealing with me to get your issue resolved. I'll be praying for you, though. But it's the fact that this is already set, that creation, all of creation is waiting on us, the people of God, to get in our lane, to get in our feet connected with our path to destiny so we can shift things. We have to be able to shift the things. And it's not just in prayer, but it's in some strategy, some planning, some action. All those things work together.
Yeah. So, and in whether you're recording it on you're typing it or whether you're writing it and whatever, we're very familiar with the term willpower. Okay, and that is goal-directed determination to accomplish something. But I want to suggest another side of that. So write down willpower. That means I'm goal directed.
Okay.
And then write down way power, and that means I'm devising multiple strategies in order to accomplish these things. I know I can do this. This is my strategy. These are the things that I can do to. Yes.
So when you say way power, because way can be spelled more than one way. Which way are you talking
W-A-Y.
about? Thank you. So that way it's not, people don't think it's way, W-E-I-G-H.
So
we are always clear.
Well, I didn't think. Well, thank you, honey. I didn't think
You're
about
so
it.
welcome. I am your helpmate for real.
Well, I need that help. But the way power is the ability to generate multiple routes in order to accomplish these goals. I know I have the willpower in me to accomplish this, and I now need to develop the way power. This is how I am going. This is the plan. This is step one. This is what I'm going to do in order to accomplish this. And this leads us, and of course, we're talking about relationships. So all of this helps us tremendously in whatever relationships. And I'm sure the majority of what we deal with here would be couples or marriage partners dealing with this. But way power and willpower.
So say what way power is again.
Way power is the capacity to develop multiple strategies to accomplish the goals that I know I'm determined to achieve.
Okay. So I can want a thing that's more aligned with your will.
Okay. That's the willpower.
But wanting it, willpower alone is not enough. Right?
That's right.
So, and even after I developed the strategy, well, you know what, I ain't stealing because we's married now. But even after we do the willpower, the way power, we see, and I know you'll get yours at the end of your notes when we get to the end of the show. But just you have to have discipline and self-control to be able to implement those strategies in the plan, right?
Right. So we have to distinguish hope from optimism, from just wishful thinking or absolute denial. And several comparisons that I thought about making here. Optimism is a general belief that things are going to turn out fine. It'll be all right. Things are going to turn out fine. Hope, on the other hand, is an active, goal-driven plan in order to make a change or accomplish something.
So hope is tied to something. It's
Optimism.
not just a feeling, a thought,
Yeah.
but it's tied to something.
And I'll probably get in trouble here for this one, but hope is expecting optimism is expecting positive future outcomes without needing a personal plan.
So you're dreaming, but you don't never really do anything to make the dream come true.
It's passive. Everything's going to work out. It's when I'm blessed and highly favored, whether I really am or not. I'm saying that, and it's just we're going to kind of hope in our
What we
mind.
call that conditioning?
I think we did.
Okay.
Optimism fades when we encounter stress or when we encounter trauma that makes the outlook begin to look bleak.
Questionable.
Hope says, I can take steps to fix this. I can change this. I can persist even when it gets tough. I'm going to make it through because I have the willpower, and here's the way that I'm going to do it. Here's my plan, whatever our situations are. Optimism focuses on what will happen to us, and hope focuses on what we can do to change things.
So when I got a hope, I have a pivot. Right? Something comes up and it wasn't what I was expecting, but I can pivot from that position and I can shift into another way of accomplishing the same goal.
And everything that I mentioned so far has nothing to do with Christianity.
These are just strategies.
These
Again,
are just strategies.
The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Would you say that's a Christian thing? Or it's just God has put that in place to bless all of us?
Right. And Christian hope goes one step, big step further in that it is rooted rather than in what we can do or what we can perceive. It is rooted in trust in God's promises. It looks beyond the circumstances around us and places confidence in God's providence, God's promises, and God's plan. Christian hope depends on God and not on the circumstances or our outlook in life.
So Christian hope always factors God in because it
sure.
realizes that we as people need to realize this. I don't think we really get it, that we can only go so far on our own. But if we factor God in from the beginning, not going as far as we can and then, oh God, will you please help me out of this mess? No, if you talk to him first and get his strategy and his plan on it, it usually, even though Satan is going to challenge us, because that's what he do, that's who he is. But when he challenges you, the Bible says that the Lord will raise up a standard. When the enemy comes in like a flood, the Lord will raise up. It's not even up to me to defend and protect myself. He always has insurance to get us to the outcome, the goal that he already planned for us to achieve.
And we can see, I can see it in the past.
Right,
It's
because
easy,
hindsight
it's
is
easier.
2020.
Hindsight's 2020. It's a lot easier to see as I look back and see and understand, because I didn't know that the thing A or thing B or thing C was going to happen, but realizing now that God had put me where I needed to be in order to deal with this situation or that situation. It wasn't really where I wanted to be necessarily. There's a lot of times we find that, the characters in the Bible, they really don't want to be where God has put them, but God had, on the other side, they see how God used them in that situation in order to accomplish something. And okay, well, yeah, it was really worth it. I just couldn't see it back on this side when it started. And so hope gives us, even in our personal relationships, and we're supposed to be all about relationships here.
And we are.
And we are, yes, we are. But there's key functions that hope serves in personal relationships. And the first one that I thought of was motivation and commitment to sustained effort toward shared goals and long-term investment, even when the immediate rewards are low.
Say that again.
sustains effort as we have hope and we share that hope together in our relationship, whatever. Like I say, it's probably going to be couples and spouses.
Or we can deal with the
Marriages.
singles that are dating and
Singles
want to
that
be
are dating.
married.
Okay, I covered couples in
Okay,
that.
okay.
Now, it sustains effort towards shared goals. Hope sustains that effort and shows us we can look ahead to the long-term investment, and we can, even when the immediate rewards are low. So we look ahead to see what God is doing. We want, where'd you say? Dubai, saying, yeah.
Yeah,
We
going
want
to
that
Dubai.
long-term
Yeah.
goal.
Get
We're
that in
not-
your mind. We're
we're-
going to plane a long time.
I got my passport. I'm ready to go. Okay, we look ahead and we see that we have this hope that's driving us. Okay, so here's what the next thing is: the steps we take in order to accomplish that, and that gives us that motivation and commitment, and that's with our life partner, whoever that might be.
So that is a choice on our part, though.
Oh,
right?
sure.
Because love is a choice on our part. And so
Sure.
love and hope work together.
Mm-hmm.
They're team partners. They're on the same team playing for the same goal. And so as we work this thing God's way, then we're able to accomplish the things that He had in plan and place for us from the beginning. But our effort is mostly our obedience, right?
Oh yeah.
So it starts there. But there's still some work that we have to do because we're co-laborers with God
Mhm.
to establish His kingdom in the earth. So that sustain is the word you use, right?
Mhm.
So sustain is like a support or a continuation.
Mhm.
And so you don't, hopefully nobody is. I don't know what, because folks be thinking strange things today. But hopefully you're not getting into a marriage so you can see what I can get out of it. If I don't get out of it, then I'm out. No, but you have to be able to be sustained. Like, and you know music because that's really your thing. So the key, the pedal on the organ when they wanted the note to hang
That's
on a little
that's on a
longer.
piano, not an organ.
Piano, okay. see, I tell you, he's the music man. But that note, so
Yeah.
that it hangs,
Yeah.
it's sustained, it lasts longer than the regular pedals. And I don't even really know about, but I know I see the footwork when they work playing them keys and moving them feet.
That's the sustain pedal that's under the base of my keyboard at the house.
Okay. But just saying that there's some effort. The sustained note doesn't take place without some action on our part, right? You can play the keys. That doesn't get the note
Right.
to last
Right.
longer.
Right.
So when we're establishing rhythm of life, then we have to be willing to do those things that will help to sustain. And it's not a one-time one and I'm good for all. No. It's like salvation. Yes, I got saved when I was 9 years old, but at 72, I still have to renew my commitment to God. Not that I go back and get saved all over again, but every day I renew my commitment to God to be His child, to walk in obedience and servitude to Him, to give Him everything because He gave me everything. I wouldn't have nothing if it wasn't for Him. So, but that's a sustained, lifelong choice. And the same thing is like what brings us into our sonship as adopted children of God. That's our sonship means, that God has adopted us into His royal family, and that we have certain inheritances, we get certain privileges, certain access has been granted to us because He has put in place something to sustain us throughout our lifetime. And all of creation knows that. We're the ones still trying to understand it.
Yeah, and the thing that I just keep thinking about, even as we're talking about all this, is we've got on our prayer list that we pray over every day, we've got 3 couples added just in the last few days that are either dealing with domestic violence or need to be reconciled and dealing with marital problems. And these are the very things, this is the very message that they need. They're probably not listening to our broadcast, but I feel like there's some adults. Bobby was talking about our listening audience he thinks it's primarily middle-aged and up, and so that's why I'm saying write these things down, the thoughts and the connections down, because maybe there's someone listening that can share with some of these people that we're praying for, or others. I'm sure you don't have to go very far to find people dealing with this beyond that. And in the same thing, another thing that hope gives us is resilience and coping capacities, because it helps partners and or family members generate alternative strategies when they come into a conflict. We have hope. We can fix this. We can work our way through this when there's stress, when there's some kind of illness, when there's some kind of life transition that we face. Hope plays into that relationship of dealing and giving that resilience that keeps them hanging together.
Yeah, and again, realizing you're on the same team. If you're in a relationship with somebody, they are not your enemy. So, but the moment you twist that and flip it and start looking at it as that person that's opposing you, are they coming against me, or they don't like me, or all that stupid stuff, really it's just stupid.
When you gather with the girls and we have a husband roast, or when the guys gather at the pool hall and they have a wife roast, and
you can
no,
do something better
do
with
that.
your time.
Don't
Don't
do
fall
that.
into that trick, babe, because whatever you talk about with your girls, you still ain't told your man. So how's that gonna help your situation? Yeah, they might can tell you something, but when I listen to a lot of these people out here today, Lord help, it's all about games. Well, don't if you meet somebody and you like him, don't call him for 2 days. What? If I like him and he like me, I gotta wait for 2 days, or you just love him with the tip of your pinky finger and go inch by inch, and then you'll finally get the whole hand and then work up the arm. Oh, girl, ain't nobody got time for that. To me, that's just another game. Ain't nobody trying to play games out here on these relationship streets. That's why we in the mess we in. Everybody want to play a game and show up with an imposter and a representative. Bring your real self to the table. When then Joe and I met, well, before we met, we talked on the phone for the first week. Hours and hours. Hours in the morning, hours at night.
Delightedly.
Yeah, we enjoyed each other. Conversation. But that was our getting to know each other. No holds barred, and we were at the age, but I don't want to pin it to an age. I think that we have the capability to really be who we really are, regardless of how old we are. Now, I am a better version of myself at 72 than I was at 22, because I've grown a lot in those years. Went through a heartache, heartbreak, ups and downs, but some great things happened to me also in that getting to this point. But my point is, you have to really spend that time getting to know each other. But I can't get to know Joe if he's bringing his false self and I'm bringing my false self. No, this Joe that I know now, pretty much the same Joe I met over the phone. Now, as we have been married for 9 months and you get to live with somebody, because we vowed we wouldn't live together, we wouldn't have sex before we jumped the broom. It wasn't enough for him to put a ring on it, no, because I know some people do that, and then you never get to the ceremony, but you gave up everything you had. No, it was a sealed deal, and those are things we agreed on from the beginning. Again, it's about us walking as sons of God. It's not a gender thing. It's a position as being adopted into the royal family of God, and we wanted to represent the kingdom of God in the best way, and we determined that. And it wasn't oh my God, I had to twist his arm because he just wanted to have sex. He was cool with honoring the covenant. Again, that was one of the drawing cards for me, was that he had been so honorable in his vow to God and to his wife. I really just don't know men that don't cheat. I take that back. I know 10 personally, but outside of that, and it may be some more, because this ain't a conversation I go around having with men, but just when you know the men I've known, and I'd be like, oh, that ain't his wife right there, you can tell. But ain't my business, so I try to stay in my lane. But I'm just saying, that was a drawing card for me, but that was a sonship role that he accepted because of his vow to God and the
Yeah.
vow that he made to his wife. And I felt like if he could make that kind of vow to God and then to a wife who was sick for 30 plus years towards the last 30 something years of their marriage, then he could be faithful to God again, and he could be faithful to me.
And that was one of the scenarios that I thought about is as far as trying to apply the things that we're talking about today. And that was a couple facing a long distance relationship challenge, and we weren't quite long distance.
Hour and a half away,
Yeah,
but not really long distance.
not really. So where was the willpower and where was the way power in that? The willpower is, as I'm really liking this lady that I'm talking to. There's the willpower. I want to have a relationship with her. And where is the way power? The regular phone calls, and when I ask if we could have prayer in the morning and prayer in the evening and start and end our day like that, there's the way power. This is the plan to accomplish that. Another thing that the way helps us with in our personal relationships is because it gives a positive expectation and trust building. It encourages behaviors, forgiveness, and an emotional openness rather than withdrawing or being defensive. It encourages us to be positive with one another and to be emotionally open.
And that's not always easy for people, right? It's not always easy for people to be, because a lot of people live their life being close. I'm not saying you got to go around telling everybody everything you're doing. I'm not saying that.
I'm talking about husband and wives, couples.
Okay. In a couple, we have to be open, because you don't want to. That's not a good feeling, to be with somebody and not be emotional about them, not feel anything for them. That's not a good feeling.
No, not do that withdrawal stuff and the silent treatment and get that defense
Punishment.
That punishment.
You married to your mama, your daddy? You got to be
defensive
punished?
Stuff.
That's crazy.
Another thing that I see in the way that hope helps us in our personal relationships is emotional regulation. Buffers against despair when we can say we can get through this. We can work our way through this rather than feeling getting all mad and blowing our top and this ain't going to work and nothing's ever going to happen and I don't know why we got into this thing. Why did I? That hope gives us that kind of confidence that we can work things out. We're going to make it. We can get through this.
If you have God in the middle of your relationship and he's the one that you're depending on, again, you heard me say and will continue to hear me say, I pray all the time, God, you show me the kind of wife that Joe needs, because I don't know that. I'm learning it. Part of it is just me being who I am. A lot of fun, a little crazy.
You're pretty nice.
Serious sometimes.
I'm rather fond of you.
Well, thank you, baby. Same. But just because I can't depend on yesterday. Yesterday's gone. We're not getting that back. But today we've been gifted with a beautiful day that allows me to walk in my position as part of the royal family, if you will, and to be able to express to you the kind of, what is it that you need? I mean, and again, thankfully, Joe is chill. I mean, this dude is real calm, laid back. And he doesn't have a bunch of demands of, I was in a marriage before. I had a list of 10 things I got to do from my husband. And I had juggling, maybe work, maybe not work, maybe just depend on how many kids we had at the time. But if I got 9, I'm done. But I didn't get that 10th one. It was as if I did nothing, absolutely nothing. And then you go through all the stuff and all the stuff and all the stuff. And it just always made me feel like I had to walk on eggshells. So to be with somebody that's so totally opposite, where he's just so cool about stuff, and he's not sitting around waiting for me to do my chores, and I'm sitting around waiting on him to do his chores. And it's not like that. We are married. We have a house together. We do things together in the home, and it's not like, oh, that's his job, this is my job. Sometimes he'll say, run something out to the garbage can, because I don't like to put, like when you cooking fish or you chicken or something like that, and maybe our trash day is Tuesday, so I don't want to put stuff in the trash can and let it sit to the next week, till whenever, the next time he's going to take out the trash. I would just run it out to the garbage can. He said, well, why did you do that? I could do it. Because I have two hands that work real well. And I don't look at taking out. I was single from 2009 to 2025. I'm sorry, 2000 legally, but I asked my husband to leave in 2006. I couldn't take it anymore. But I had to start taking out trash in 2006 all the way through. So taking out trash is not an issue for me. And he's not mad because I took out the trash. He just wants me to know that I got you in that area. But I want him to know, but you're not in this by yourself. I got you too. Because we don't look at it that way. We are really blending our lives. Now, again, there's certain things like, I'm really pretty independent, but I'm trying to learn to incorporate him more. But I can reach on top of the refrigerator and get the deep fryer. I have no problem with that. I've learned how to open the refrigerator, slide it to the front, and ease it right on down. But again, just learning those things about each other, so there's room. I want him to know there's always room for you in my life. I might be pretty independent, but that's because I was single a long time, so I'm learning how to turn off that part of my brain. Wasn't like a light switch. We got married and said I do, and all of a sudden, oh, I'm just sitting up here. You do everything the man's supposed to do. No, I am a very independent-minded, capable woman. So there's things that I okay, baby, can you do this for me? But for the most part, we don't look at it, that's my role, that's his role. No, and I'm grateful for that.
Another scenario that I thought of in trying to apply this thing was siblings navigating parental conflict, and that is, which one of us is going to let mom move in with us?
Oh.
So where's the willpower in that? Where's the way power in that?
That's a very interesting thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because before we married each other.
Fortunately, we're not faced with that situation.
No, our parents are already gone. But
lots of people are.
It could be lower.
Yeah, that's true.
It could be not
That's true.
above
That's
generation.
true.
It could be the generation under us. And one thing we talked about before we got married was that because my kids had lived with me and his kids had lived with him, that when we first got married, we just wanted time to ourselves, for ourselves. Now, I don't know what the future holds and what's up the road, and we pray everybody is good.
Amen.
All
Amen.
my kids, all your kids, take care of your kids.
Amen.
Take care of your life,
Amen.
do right things so you don't
Amen.
have to,
Amen.
your kids ain't up in question in the system and somebody need to go get them.
Let us have our turn, please.
Yeah, let us get to at least 10 years without some house guests. We still want to play fun. I'll keep it clean. But yeah, that is a consideration. Who is if there's a sick parent, who do they now, I didn't have a problem with my mom moving in with me. She lived with me when I was married and lived with me when I was single, divorced. But because that was my girl. But I don't know. That's definitely something where you have to sit down and talk about it and make a full circle decision. You got to consider the impulsive, the emotional part of it, and then you got to think about what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages. Who's gonna? Cause caregiving is not a joke. It is a busy job, lots of hands on, and you need other people to step up and take part, and not just one person. As much as I love my mother, it was a full-time job, and I was grateful for the times when she was hospitalized. But even then, she made us pinky swear when we were younger that if she had to, that we would never put her in a nursing home, and if she had to stay in the hospital overnight, that we would not leave her overnight by herself. Now, you can run out in the day and do what you got to do, but at night, somebody needs to be here with me Because when I'm asleep, I need to know it's somebody else in the room with me. And I don't know even really exactly, I never even thought about it to this moment, where that thought might have come from. But I, I pinky sweared it, and I kept my swear. I lived at the hospital with my mama at the end when she was sick before she died, because I promised her I would. But that is a big undertaking, and it changes your life.
Yeah.
You know,
you got to communicate with one another.
Yeah, and you can't just say, "Oh, well, it's my mama Joe, and my mama's gonna come live with it." No, that's a discussion. You have a conversation. You come to the meeting of the minds, and I wouldn't think that Joe wouldn't love my mother. I mean, she was a lovable person, but I can't assume that I have a right to bring my mother into our home because this is my mother. That's a conversation. You cannot just do things like that without having a conversation.
Right. And another scenario that I thought of was where we need to apply hope, and that is friends recovering from a betrayal, and I call that nursing a grudge. Where's the willpower? Where's the way power in that kind of situation?
And I could really go into that and speak on a couple of levels, but I
Well, just
kind of
go
be
right
genuine.
ahead.
No, I won't. Thank you very much.
Go, Ella. Go, Ella.
I'll be generic, but I'll talk about an old timer.
Okay.
So, long time ago, when I was dating, and I had a very close friend, and I was young and naive. I've always kind of been open. And I said, "Oh, girl, he touched me right here. It feels like this. He touched me right there. It feels like that." I didn't know you can't share that with everybody. I didn't know. Nobody taught me those things. So I was telling her that I guess she wanted to experience it for herself. So it turned out she was with my man. So, but I didn't know. And I had moved out of that relationship and was with a new guy. But she and I were still close. So when I found out that you been with my man, back then I carried a switchblade. So you better know what was about to go down. But I was like, "You been with my man?" But what I did was, rather than enter into some illegal criminal behavior that would lock me up, I just got a long handle spoon and I pushed her out so far. God rest her soul, she's not alive today, but I pushed her out so far where she could, because you slept with that man, maybe you might try to sleep with this man, and where I didn't cut you over that man since I kind of already moved on, but now I heard about it, I feel a way about it, I want to cut you, but I'm not going to cut you, I'm just going to get rid of you, because maybe you're trying to get with this man too, and so that betrayal is a hurtful thing.
Right.
So it has.
So where's the willpower and the way power in that?
Well, I'm still going to be an open person, right? I'm still I'm going to be me. But I don't want to associate with women of that caliber.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. That's a way power.
Because I don't want to go to jail. I really don't.
Excellent point. Excellent point.
Yeah.
That's the way you accomplish that.
Yeah.
That's the strategy for accomplishing, and I can do this, I can work through this. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to associate with that person anymore.
Yeah,
and with that kind of people.
Right. People that, let me see how she moves. Because if she moving a little crazy, then I'm going to have to cut her out too. But yeah.
And now there's another thing time goes around here fast. Another thing that I want to treat is the limits of hope when it is limited, and when we have an unrealistic or a rigid hope that can become denial. And let me just pick on
Yes, I was going to ask you for examples.
Let me pick on myself for that.
Okay.
Most of the professional sax players that I listen to and am inspired by typically started playing. I'm trying to learn one now by Najee, and you probably most people.
You was really good last night. I almost came in the room, but I didn't want to.
I'm trying.
I didn't want to interrupt you. You was really good. I thought, look at my baby in there.
But now Najee and he is started in a school band on a flute, in fact, and then when he got on up in band, many years worth of it stayed in band. He picked up the saxophone. He went to a prestigious college and majored in music. He went to graduated from the New England Conservatory of Music, went through all of that. He's now 60 some years old, so he spent 50 years developing his talent. I don't have that kind of technical expertise, and I'm probably not going to develop it, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to be trying.
You might.
There's
though.
the willpower.
You
There's the
might, though,
willpower.
'cause you
Where's
was
the
jamming
willpower
last
in that
night.
is I got to practice.
Well, but
Practice,
how long
practice.
have you been playing sax, though?
Well, mine, I knew you was going to ask me that question in 18 years.
So, see,
So, you know,
50 years compared to 18.
and the same thing as you talking about, you could go to law school. You could.
I could.
You could.
At 72, I don't want to.
But, you know, yeah.
But I think I would be a brilliant lawyer.
Oh yeah. But who wants to be in the courtroom at 85 years old?
I don't, because it's the system.
Okay.
Now, if I could really practice
Okay.
law instead of being a part of the system,
Mm-hmm.
I might would think about investing in that way.
So, sure. So you're looking ahead and you're saying this would be a hope. This would, but it's not
I
a
wanna
real.
do more
It's
fun
not
stuff.
realistic. I want to do more fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's not realistic. In the same way, with my running stuff, I've backed off the highly competitive end of that thing. I want to be able to maintain, but we have to discuss the limits of hope when it enables unhealthy persistence, is the way I intended to say this. There's a breaking point there. And I spend a lot of time watching YouTube videos and listening to other people who are older and what they have to cope with. And so I got a little sense of community there to go with that. So there are limits. Yeah, it can come to a point where denying reality becomes a very real thing for us when we're really not at a point that you're going to be able. I know good and well I cannot go and compete with Stephen when he runs his marathons and Ironman. I know good and well before we start I can't do it.
Well, and I think that's the realistic lens of hope, to really say, okay, had I started back when, I would be able to accomplish those things. But on the flip side, I have accomplished more since 2009 than I
Yeah.
had in the other years
Yeah.
prior.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
So
And what was the willpower and the way power in that?
I didn't want to slide all the way back down and
Okay.
start at the beginning at 50-some years old. I was having to pivot and be single after being married for 33 and a half years, and I didn't want to have to go all the way back down to where I was at 22, and then no. So God just allowed me to go to school and
Build a new life.
build a new life, set goals for myself, write 3 books.
Write the way powers that said to my friends that I'm not going to go to those 3:00 in the morning things. I've got school. I've got the
Yeah.
investment. Here's my plan. Here's my strategy
Yeah.
to accomplish it. That's the way power
Yeah,
that I'm talking about.
and was able to get it done. I mean,
Yep.
I'm a doctor today as a result. It was a lot. It wasn't just easy, but I was excited about it because I got to hit
I
the
can do
reset
this.
button,
I can hit
and I got to challenge myself to say, you're a smart girl. You can go. You got to know who you are. I know I'm smart.
There's the
I'm not a
motivation.
genius, but I'm smart. I kind of, as a child, I was connected to people older than me in the church, in my community, and so they kind of poured into me and opened up a way for me to accomplish a lot of things in my life, and all of it has just been God. I mean, to know that I was able to work for 2 U.S. senators, the governor of Oklahoma, the mayor of Tulsa, it ain't a lot of people that can say that, but God did it for me with no college. So I can't pat myself on the back and say, well, I had a master's or a doctorate when they picked me up. No, I didn't have nothing. And I was straight, honest, on top of the table. They gave me a shot, and I did it to the best of my ability because Mother Hazel taught me at 12 years old to always do your best. Whatever you do, it don't matter if you know people are looking or if not. And today, people are looking You might not know they looking. Do your best, just as a son of God, so that creation doesn't have to keep waiting on us to flip it and change the decay that they're experiencing, that we can pull this evil temperature down. We have the power, but we don't know how to utilize the power. We don't know how to tap into it and get it pumped up where we, like, if you have a patient, if you're in medicine and you have a patient that's having a heart attack and they flatline, that ain't the time to charge the pads. You need them things on 100 or 1,000 when you say clear and everybody stand back. You need to know you're going to be able to charge them up. Same kind of situation. We got to stay in a position where we can keep things charged up because God has given us that power as his children. What sense does it make for us to be able to access the God of the universe and then not take advantage of it, not be able to put that in our lives and use it to the best of our ability to take it to its highest level, even if you get tired and stop on the way and figure out, but I mean, he wouldn't give you his desire to do something if he didn't know you're capable of doing it. He knows that we're capable of stopping the decay in the earth. We don't believe it. That's why we don't try it.
So simple habits to build more shared hope in your relationship with your partner, whatever that might be. Number one, first and foremost, top of the line, is daily prayer together. Both pray, not let your wife pray for you. Both pray daily. Very simple thing. Another thing I thought of was the celebration rituals where we lift one another up, where we do nice things for one another, where we encourage one another. Just very, very simple things. These are things that we can do to have those times when we're talking about Dubai, to plan our dream things that we want to do together, travel ideas, maybe yours may be hobby goals or whatever it is. Have those regular times when you as a couple discuss this, and Ellouise will say, I probably go overboard on the next one. Share verbally gratitude and praise and love. Share verbally gratitude, praise, and love. And, track the shared milestones that we've gone through, that we've done this, we've done that. Here's the evidence of our growth. Here's what we've accomplished in this past. This is what we want to do. We can do this. Here's the plan. Let's take this step and that step and begin to build things back. Just simple things.
Yeah. And I'm going to say that Joe goes overboard. I won't say that. What I will say is taking this just a little bit to get used to. When you go from somebody that can't tell you they love you, but they should be able to because you're married, to somebody who can lavish that love on you, like the scripture we used last week. It takes a mental adjustment to get there and know that you're that worthy where somebody can just lavish love. That's how Joe makes me feel, like he's lavishing love on me. I don't have to question whether or not he loves me. And he doesn't question that I love him. No. We show it different ways because he's a man. He is a real man. And I'm a woman, but I'm growing into some stuff. I've been in some places y'all don't even want to know on this air. Sister been in some stuff, but I'm growing into, and his love makes it easier for me to grow into those spaces where I'm more free and more open and more responsive.
So there's way power and there's willpower in all of that
Right.
that pushes us forward in our relationships. And write this stuff down, folks. Come back, replay, go to Facebook, go to YouTube or wherever you need to go. Re-listen to these things, write them down, type them in your phone or however you want to do it so that you can go back and read these, because I feel like there's somebody out there that needs to share this with their young children.
Yeah, because if
their
the
young adult
people
children
can
as
understand
well.
who they are from being a young person, that helped me a whole lot. I can't believe it, but our time is up, people.
Yeah.
We just have such a great time today. enjoying and discussing about all creation is waiting on us to get in our place and do the things we were created to do. If you need resources and help, there are things available, people available to help you get into the next level, because you can't make it on your own. No man was made or created to be an island, and we have the power of God within us to help us reach those goals. So hope you got something out of today's show. We look forward to next week. Next week we're going to be talking about passion is not silent.
Like, share, and comment.
We'll see you next week. Well, that does it for this week's show. Thank you for tuning in to Love in Real Life. We enjoyed our time together, and we hope you did too. We invite you to join us again next Tuesday at 2 for a relationship reset. Remember to like, share, follow, subscribe, and comment. Our YouTube channel is Dr. Ellouise and Joseph Hill at Hill of Love, or email us at joe.lhill@gmail.com.